From the broadcast center at BCIT's Burnaby Campus, this is All Talk Radio. You're listening to 1680 The Crow.
Good morning, you're listening to 1680 The Crow, and I'm Jocelyn Chappelle with your 10 a.m. news headlines. Right off the top today, we have our producer, Philip Kovacevic, with what our reporters are chasing today. Philip?
Thanks, Jocelyn. So today we have a pretty interesting newscast. So you've got our reporter Jake McGrail out in the field covering National Aboriginal Veterans Day in downtown Vancouver. We could see some potential streeters there and hopefully some photos. And Jagraj Lali's doing how Burnaby will now allow car share vehicles to park throughout the city. And we have our very own Alea Anders on how to keep backyard wildlife friendly during the holidays for her further record. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Philip. Today is Aboriginal Veterans Day, meant to honor and remember the extraordinary contributions of Indigenous people during the First and Second World Wars and the Korean War. Our reporter Jake McGrail is currently at an honor march, which is happening until 10:30 this morning from 312 Main Street to East Hastings Street, with a wreath lay service taking place after. The ceremonies are open to the public. This year, Metro Vancouver's living wage has jumped more than 6.5%. The Centre for Policy Alternatives says the living wage is now $25.68 per hour. Although Vancouver doesn't have the highest living wage in the province, that can be found in Clayoquot Sound with a living wage of $26.51. The CPA says many people working low-wage jobs are facing impossible choices when it comes to paying for basic necessities. A Surrey soccer team has been expelled from the league after a reported assault took place this weekend. The Vancouver Metro Soccer League says it does not condone or tolerate the type of behavior witnessed on November 4th. Our reporter Jagraj Lali covered the story yesterday and has details on what happened this Saturday.
At Newton Athletic Park, a group of South Asian men created chaos during a soccer match in the Metro Vancouver Soccer League. The brawl erupted due to a foul on a Latin American team player, shocking the spectators. Law enforcement quickly arrived as about 15 outsiders joined the fray. The outnumbered Latin American team couldn't defend themselves, and the brawl unfolded in front of innocent bystanders, including women, children, and the elderly. Amateur sports expert Steve Erickson emphasizes the league's crucial role in dealing with such situations.
But the league has to really take a hardline attitude at these type of problems, because it's just devastating to see. Number one is where the world's going, especially when it comes to sports, because sports realistically is supposed to build better citizens. The
Surrey RCMP is currently investigating the incident, but has not made any arrests. Jagraj Lali, 1680 The Crow.
Several people were brought to hospital this morning in Saskatchewan after a coach bus rolled over on a highway. Dwayne Stone, fire chief for the town of Grenfell, says Highway 1 was icy and covered in snow when the bus rolled over. Here's a clip from the Canadian Press.
There are escape hatches on the top, so we opened those and we took out the window on the front, and we took out the window at the back. And different firemen were working in different sections trying to get different people out.
A new report says lung cancer death rates in Canada have largely declined over the past several years. It says deaths from lung cancer have decreased by about 4% each year since 2015. Here's a clip from the Canadian Press, who spoke to Mary Ann Bradley about being diagnosed with stage 1 lung cancer a few years ago.
My father had lung cancer back in 1990. And of course, treatment options were quite a bit different back then than they are now. and he died of lung cancer. So I just thought I was going to die. That was it. I wasn't even listening to what else the doctor had to say at that time.
The Canadian Cancer Society says the decrease in mortality reflects progress in reducing smoking, as well as emerging screening programs for early detection. For weather today, we're going to see some off and on again showers, but those were your 10 a.m. news headlines. I'm Jocelyn Chappelle. Thank you for tuning in to 1680 The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika King. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
welcome to another edition of For the Record on 1680 The Crow. I'm your host, Filip Kovacevic. With winter getting closer, vehicular accidents due to poor weather conditions become even bigger problems. Today we have Zoltan Kolotska, the estimating manager at ICBC working in the material damage department, here to talk about his experience with damaged vehicles.
I started at ICBC approximately 10 years ago as a total loss handler. With my previous manager's experience, I quickly moved up and became a material damage manager in total loss department. Managers at ICBC regularly rotated around every 2 to 3 years. So from total loss department, my next stop was out of province and subrogation department. In this department, estimating team deals with our customers. They're traveling outside British Columbia and unfortunately getting involved in some kind of an accident. Another part is subrogation, and this is where our estimators deal with estimates provided to us by third-party insurance companies when the third-party client is actually insured by another company other than ICBC. From this department, I did move to express estimating, and this is where our customers end up in an accident, and they take the vehicle into the out-of-body shop. Out-of-body shop estimators create a repair estimate for the vehicle, and they send that estimate to ICBC for review. They send it to this Express Estimating Department for review. Estimators at Express Department review the estimate, make sure that all the details are correct, and then they try to make the maximum repairability value for the vehicle. This is where they decide if the vehicle will be repaired or if it's going to be a total loss. So in this process, they create the value of some preliminary value of the vehicle. They obtain the salvage value of this salvage vehicle that usually will be sold on the auction for parts or out-of-body shops for rebuilding purpose. And if this cost of the repairs and salvage cost together make it a higher value than the actual value of the vehicle, then this vehicle would be a total loss. If the value is lower than the actual value of the vehicle, then the vehicle will be repaired, and the estimators would be giving a go-ahead to the body shop to repair the vehicle. So that was kind of like my third stop at ICBC, and as a fourth stop is actually my present position back to the total loss department, and this total loss department actually changed the name, so now it's called the Vehicle Settlement Department. So I'm back here with staff, and we deal with total loss vehicles. So the vehicles that are being written off, we have to pay the proper value to their owners. So that would be kind of like the travels, from me. So I don't know if you can maybe stop here or so. Or if you want to make these smaller portions, or I don't know what would work for you.
No, we'll just keep going full time. And okay, so what time of the year do you usually get the most claims, and why?
Well, general rule of the thumb would be that in the winter time, due to worse weather conditions and occasional snow as well here in the lower mainland, there is more accidents and therefore more claims for us. Unfortunately, that was kind of like the pattern in previous years, but lately we are kind of like losing that difference, and the accidents are happening more and more into this regular summer or autumn times, and I would believe that due to the number of the cars on the road, and the infrastructure didn't really change much in the last decades or so. Just a pure congestion of vehicles on the road, brings us, I guess, like more damages and accidents than usually.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any tips or tricks for people making claims that would just make the process easier?
Generally, like calling right on time, recording all the details of the accident, having witnesses, that would all like speed up the process, because determining the liability of the accident is sometimes a big deal. So that could take a long time. Unfortunately, the body shops are really very busy as well, due to, I guess, high numbers of these accidents. So having more body shops would help. Occasionally, we do have little prolonged estimating times in our department as well. So maybe having more staff at ICBC in estimating and the total loss department, that would help. So there's a lot of little things, that could help improving the speed, and quality of the process.
And what is the process for you to receive a request for vehicle damage estimations?
Well, how everything starts, like customers report the claim, and from that report, they're advised that they have to take the vehicle to the body shop for this repair estimate. So these are usually express-enabled body shops, so they have an agreement with ICBC that they deal with the claims in priority manner, and they have certain processes they have to follow. So once they do the estimate repair, these estimators from the body shop would provide that estimate to our express estimating, which will review the estimate and make sure that everything is done properly, that nothing was missed, that the rates are properly done, and they would then review and either approve the express estimate for the vehicle to be repaired, or if they decide that this repair is like too high, then they would declare the vehicle a total loss. So that's kind of like the first part of it, deciding like if the vehicle is repairable or not. Once they decide that the vehicle is repairable, they would send this same estimate as approved back to the body shop, and that would initiate the process of repairing the vehicle. If on the other side they determine that this repair value is too much and that it's worth more than the actual value of the vehicle, then they would determine that the vehicle is unrepairable, not economical to repair, so it would deem it a total loss. And then from that point, the activity would be sent to the vehicle settlement department for the vehicle settlement representatives to settle the claim with registered owners of the vehicle.
And have you ever seen anything, anything like interesting during your job, like any interesting claims?
Definitely. We deal with like different types of vehicles, like electrical vehicles, regular vehicles, motorhomes, specialty vehicles. So we do have occasionally motorhomes, and some of them are literally some people's homes, so we really have to treat those with a special care, because that is not just a vehicle, but sometimes even a home for these people. So yeah, some of them are literally like with a couple of rooms, kitchens, bathrooms and stuff. So it is definitely a next level of estimating then.
That's it for today's edition of For the Record. I'm your host, Filip Kovacevic, and remember to drive safe this winter. Keep listening for more later on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikki-King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika Sikki-King. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikki-King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikki-King. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
From the Broadcast Center at BCIT's Burnaby Campus, this is All Talk Radio. You're listening to 1680 The Crow.
Good morning, I'm Melanie Levesque, and you're listening to 1680 The Crow. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is issuing a plea for a humanitarian pause in the clashes between Israeli forces and Hamas in the Gaza Strip. He says pauses are vital to allow the release of the hostages taken by Hamas last month and to get Canadians and other civilians out of the besieged territory, among other actions.
And a pause long enough to start not just getting aid in, but getting resources and medication and supports while we begin doing the work of de-escalating the situation, and not just in Gaza, but in the West Bank, where there's increasing violence, danger of it spreading into Lebanon.
More Canadians are on a list to exit the Gaza Strip today. 75 permanent residents of Canada and their families were able to cross into Egypt yesterday. The jury trial continues today for Ibrahim Ali, who has been accused of first-degree murder in relation to the killing of a 13-year-old girl from Burnaby in 2017. The trial is being held at the BC Supreme Court, and it began at 10 a.m. Good news for car share users after a new ruling was passed at Burnaby City Hall. Our reporter Jagraj Lali has more.
In a move set to transform the way Burnaby residents use car-sharing services, City Council has given the green light to new regulations that grant Evo and Moto the freedom to park their vehicles anywhere within the city, without time limits, even at metered spaces. Previously, car shares were confined to designated spots around Metrotown, Brentwood Town Centre, SFU, and BCIT. To qualify, car share companies must have an agreement to pay for metered parking. These changes aim to cut commuter costs, making owning a car less of a burden. Furthermore, a $50 decal for car share vehicles is in the works, making Burnaby more welcoming to these services. BCAA, which operates Evo, is enthusiastic about the decision, anticipating added convenience for locals. The changes go into effect on January 1st, 2024. Jagraj Lali, 1680, The Crow.
Today it will be revealed which lucky fans will get to purchase Taylor Swift tickets for her 2024 Vancouver concert dates. Verification codes for those that won the ticket lottery are going to be sent by text today. Then the fans will be placed in a virtual holding room where they will be given access to purchase concert tickets. Several people are in a hospital after a coach bus rolled over this morning in southeast Saskatchewan. Grenfell's Fire Chief Dwayne Stone says highway conditions were icy and snowy when the crash occurred, and firefighters had to be called to help those trapped during the crash.
There are escape hatches on the top, so we opened those and we took out the window on the top, on the front, and we took out the window at the back. And different firemen were working in different sections trying to get different people out.
There's currently no further information being shared about the number of victims or their condition. A new report says lung cancer death rates in Canada have declined significantly over the past several years. It states lung cancer deaths have declined about 4% since 2015. The Canadian Cancer Society said that this could be due to factors such as reduced smoking and emerging screening programs. General Motors is recalling all 950 of its self-driving cars after a pedestrian was dragged in San Francisco last month. Rita Foley of the Associated Press has more.
It happened last month in San Francisco. In the crash, another vehicle with a human being behind the wheel hit a pedestrian, sending the person into the path of a Cruise autonomous vehicle. The Cruise vehicle stopped at first, but still hit the person. It then moved to the right to get out of traffic, pulling the person about 20 feet forward. The pedestrian was pinned under one of the Cruise vehicle's tires and was critically injured. The company is now recalling all 950 of its autonomous cars to update the software. With that update, should something like this happen in the future, Cruise says its vehicles will not move. I'm Rita Foley.
Now for weather. Currently in Vancouver, it's 8 degrees Celsius with light rain. This week you can expect more rainy conditions with a high of 10 degrees and a low of 4 degrees. That's all for your news today. I'm Melanie Levesque, and this is 1680 The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.